to take questions.
Bruce, what did you tell your team at half and then after the game?
The message was similar, both at halftime and after the game. I didn't think we competed as well as we needed to. 62 points in the paint. Their centers dominated. We're trying to front the post. And they pounded it in deep anytime they wanted to. They were very physical offensively. And it's nothing like anything we see all year long. It's not what they do offensively as far as pounding inside. There's nobody in the league that's even close to that. It's the biggest team in the country against a team that's very small, and probably the smallest team in the league. But I didn't think we competed. I didn't think we represented very well. And they had 15 defensive rebounds. They had 12 offensive rebounds. So pretty much they just, they obviously had their way. So I would have loved to have seen a little bit more toughness in my team. I encouraged them that at halftime. And, we played them 9 points in the second half. And it was better. But obviously, last time I was down, was it 30-4? 30-4? I was down 30-8, 1995. UC Riverside, Southern Indiana, Division II National Championship in Louisville, Kentucky. Where's Eric Crawford? Eric Crawford was covering me then. We were down 30-8 national championship game. This game reminded me nothing of that game. We weren't coming back.
Bruce, you played against a lot of good Calipari teams. Where does this one rank?
That's a great question. Their ability to shoot the ball from the perimeter and like punch shots, it won them. I mean, if anybody goes zone now, their eyes get big. That's a good thing. That's a good thing. You double down the post, they can hardly wait for it to get kicked out. And the deal is, they're so much more dominant on the inside because those guys can score down in there. Takari Johnson and Towns and Trey Lyles, those guys score down there. They can score down there. So they got a really good inside-outside combination. I don't know that defensively they're John's best team. They play hard. They play unselfishly. I think they got great kids. I think this is a team that coaches enjoy coaching. But they're physically overwhelming. I've never seen freshmen that strong, that physical. Golly. I didn't play against Kid Gilchrist in that group. That was my favorite team to ever watch. As long as I've been in basketball, that team was my favorite team. Because I knew those kids in recruiting, and that was my first year out. And that was a great team. I don't know that this team is that good yet. They can be.
Hey Bruce, along those lines, do you expect them to go undefeated the rest of the way? What do you rate their chances?
I think because of the character and chemistry, I think they certainly can. They're the most physical offensive team we played. And one of the things that I would be just a little concerned about, if they let them play, which I hope they would in a big game, okay? They should have a real good chance. I just would hate that if they all of a sudden start calling it differently in the tournament and start calling a lot of, because they're very physical when they post up, they're very physical when they get it in there deep, and none of those were fouls tonight. If that stays the way it will be, I think they certainly can.
Bruce, with that said, how important is Andrew Harrison to their team, do you think, what he does directly in offense?
Well, I think that, look, he's got great size, and he can go by you, and he looks over the top of you, and so I think that that's a real factor. He's solid defensively. He's a big guard, but both of the Harrisons play good defense. I mean, they're committed to it. So.
Coach, will you in the future make changes to with your team not being that big to playing teams that are much bigger? What's going to be the strategy
recruit bigger players is probably going to be the strategy, I think. Let's give Antoine Mason some credit. That was a special night for him, and I don't know if John talked about it or if anybody's talked about it, but given his father's health, and given the fact that his father's back in New York, and fighting for his life, to come to Rupp and put up 29. I don't care what the score was, and I'm just glad that your fans got a treat in the sense that he had it going a little bit. And that was great. Happy for him. It's hard to do. He was efficient doing it.
Bruce, what kind of advantage is it for Kentucky to have not 1, 2, 3, but 4 or 5 big guys to pound away?
Well, I mean, obviously you can withstand foul trouble, and one of the biggest things for me is this. I can't even imagine what their practices are like. I mean, I just can't. And like for me, it's when we're not as deep, not as talented, it's hard for me in practice to get our guys to get better sometimes. Okay, our roster's pretty thin. I can't live without 2 or 3 guys for sure. These guys getting better because they're banging each other in practice all the time. So great depth is a great thing. And they're playing, 25 assists. They're sharing the ball. Just got to stick on. They just got to keep on listening to coach and take it one at a time and stay unselfish.
Good. All right. Thank you.